How's it going, guys? I'm out here beside where we're going to be building this heifer barn next week. We have this old manure pit that we scrape manure in from the old heifer barn, the dry cow barn. This pit is just about full and we want to plant corn probably next week, so we want to get this hauled out. That's the old tie stall barn right there. We used to have cows in there. This pit was put in quite a while ago. They had a barn cleaner, a little scraper system that would bring it out, dump it into the pit. I can show you in this barn. I haven't really shown it in here too much, but I can open it anyway. So at one point this was a 78 stall tie stall barn, and that was until I was about 9 years old when we built the barn, 2004, and moved the cows out of here. So there used to be 2 rows of stalls. Cows face the outside of the barn, and then there's a lane down the middle. Cleared out all the stalls, concreted over it, and it's used as a warehouse space now. We were actually renting this out to another business, and for the most part they've moved out. They are keeping some stuff here right now. So this is kind of a nice storage space. We have some bales stacked and some of our mineral and things keep in here. It's a nice dry place. Kind of what we're planning to do with this is concrete some sort of ramp outside so that we can get the skid loader up in here to get bales out, and then we can keep all our bedding bales for the new heifer barn in here. It'll be nice and close. Just have to change some things so we can get in there with the skid loader. This disc is sitting here because we were using it to till some of the fill dirt when they were bringing all this dirt in, and it's kind of in the way now. I don't think we're going to need it anymore, so I guess first I'll have to bring a tractor in and we'll get this disc out of here. We haven't hauled any of our liquid manure this spring to this point. We had the custom crew come in to do all of the early corn hauling. We're planning to use our case tractor and spreader to do this manure. I guess I need to grease that spreader before we use it. I'm gonna grab the grease gun. We have about 40 acres or so that we need to cover, so it's all close to home. Should be pretty easy to do with our tractor. We found getting the professionals in with their big rigs is just a major time saver, and our equipment's a little bit iffy, so I don't know if we're gonna be keeping this case around for much longer or not. Some people ask why we don't use this tractor very much. It's a little bit big and not that useful for most of the jobs we do. This is the pump right here. We had opened it up last fall to drain it out so that it wouldn't freeze up over the winter. Just gotta close that up. I think it should be ready to go then. You can see our nice setup to keep rainwater out of our exhaust. Put a bucket on there, it was blowing off, so Dad tied it down. Come on, buddy. The 7130 on the manure spreader, so I guess we'll use the 7220. We're not gonna need the corn planter until all the manure hauling's done and everything. We'll get this off, we'll go get that disc, and then we'll come back and hook up to the manure pump. Yesterday my dad hauled this pile of dry manure out. If you remember, this disc has the tire with the slow leak. Just had to take it easy driving over. I'm just excited to see this barn get built. pit's pretty full. It's almost 2 feet from the top there. This hole is not all that big, so I have to make sure I get the tractor angled correctly that we can fit it in there. So I found it works best if I get the left front tire of my tractor pointed straight at the corner of that shed, and then we can get the pipe out this way. So we don't have it down the whole way. Once we get the fill pipe one, then we'll drop this down as low as we can right at that corner. Pretty much get down to 12 feet. Gotta put the fill pipe up on the side so we can take it over. Just realized this fell off my disc tire. First I thought it was a weasel carcass. Now we'll get the agitator going. Normally we can get it to stir up, but we're having trouble today. I guess there's just too much solid stuff in here. We're making a little bit of progress, but we've been stirring it for 5 or 10 minutes and it's really starting to stir now. So I'm ready to fill the spreader now. Just use one hydraulic remote and then it pumps it through these different valves. You can control the different functions. So I'm gonna switch it from agitate to load. The RPM's back up and it should pump. Well, I got it full. That's gonna make good fertilizer. It doesn't have much water at all in it. One thing we realized, we have this end on the spreader because we were transferring some manure to another pit last year. We gotta put our spreader end on. start on this closest field. I'm gonna spread it kind of thin because of how thick the manure is. We're actually running a little bit short on manure this spring, so I want to make sure we get all the acres covered before I get it too heavy. Looks like the pipe burst there. That's not good. I was halfway through the first load, and the manure pump's in the front of the spreader, and there's a pipe that transfers the manure to the back, goes over top, and a hole bursts in that pipe. So only half a load out and we got a problem already. Want to get up there? Yeah. Last year we actually had a little hole develop in this pipe, and we wrapped this rubber around and clamped it on. I kind of forgot about it, honestly, that this thing was getting a little iffy. And the rubber actually didn't give the issue. Just a new hole that opened up right beside it. Metal's getting real thin there. Just try to get it working so we can use it for a couple days. We were looking for an inner tube to wrap around that pipe, and I thought, got one right up here. Get this off. I knew that tire would come in handy sometime. That's why you don't fix your tires.
If I hold this, you can pull it over.
We got some big hose clamps we're gonna put on now. So that should do the job. It's not the right way to fix it, but hopefully it works for now. Just got a load of hay delivered. My dad's unloading that. I want to get 10th generation Dairyman stickers made, and then when we fix something like this, I can just put my stamp of approval on it. Look at that, it's not leaking. I was thinking last fall we need to replace that entire pipe, and I kind of just forgot about it. Plus we weren't really planning to use it much this spring, so it just wasn't something I was thinking about. We just wrapped that inner tube around, duct tape that to keep it tight, then put this extra piece of leather fabric stuff, and then 4 hose clamps. Sealed it up. It's not leaking at all. I'm not exactly proud of how it looks, but pumping out the 4th load now. We've already taken a good 2.5 feet out. This is load number 8 going in. We just met with our electrician for the project. We were just deciding how we're gonna run electric out to the barn. We're gonna dig a trench right there around the end of that pit out to the barn, and we'll run the water and the electric through that. And then we were kind of making a couple decisions about lights and heaters for the waterers and stuff. So this 9th load is gonna be my last load. Didn't quite get it empty, but pretty happy with what we did get out for how hard it was pumping at first. I guess now we move over to the other pit. Now we'll move on to the big freestall barn. There's 3 sections of this pit, so we'll just make sure all 3 of them are empty. Well, I didn't get that on camera. There's a clamp that holds this elbow on there, and he said it was working loose and it popped off. Almost got Dad covered in manure, but I stopped it just in time. The main freestall pit now, but it's actually really thick still because this section of the pit doesn't get any water from the wash down or anything added to it. I shut everything down. My dad might take over in a little bit, but I need to feed cows. I was trying to keep the spreader clean. I was hoping not to pressure wash too much, but all right, I'll catch you guys later.